So even that, how are the two of you been during lockdown?
You go first, Nat. Go on.
Not too bad. Just doing what I've got to do, obviously, and yeah, just going with it. Really, it's not a lot. Obviously, we can do, but just doing the best that we can, try and help out in such a bad timing.
It's different for me because obviously I'm still in the NHS, so I'm feel quite lucky that I'm still working, which keeps me busy, which is good. During the first lockdown, I'd put my name down for the Nightingale. So I didn't hear anything the first time round, but I was supposed to be the second wave of staff to go in. So if obviously the numbers continue, then I might be getting a call, but we'll be waiting and seeing.
So how much have the two of you missed the footy with the Hednesford lads?
A lot.
Loads,
I think we miss each other because we kind of keep each other sane. Like, even though we work together, we are best friends as well. So I miss our little catch up.
Inseparable, aren't we?
We are double trouble. I miss our tea and biscuits on the bench.
Tea, biscuits and gossip, isn't it?
Yeah.
So have you been in with the lads' WhatsApp group? Are you involved in them or not?
Yeah, we are in the team WhatsApp group. So obviously there's always bits of banter going in. It's just picking and choosing when you get involved, really. We have got a Zoom night arranged. Yeah. And you don't get thrown back at you.
Exactly.
We've got a Zoom night arranged for the 20th, I think. So that's going to be a bit of a team builder and a quiz. So that should be some good fun.
So who's the quiz master?
I'm not sure. Is it Bales?
Bales has put it in the chat, and so
yeah,
probably it's going to be a minute.
Oh God, I dread these questions.
Yeah.
So even that, can you tell us a little bit about your experience? How did you get into doing what you've been doing?
Do you want to go first, Nat?
I have to. So I got into Hednesford through like being put in contact with Eve. Obviously, it's a bit of a work experience module for college, and then obviously I finished that, and then she kind of went, "Nah, stay with me, don't go. I'm not going to cope without you in these lot." So I'm still here, like 4 years later. Don't know how I've done it, but we still keep going and just going with what's like thrown at us each day. So that's it, really, in a way, isn't it?
I started at the club years and years ago. I actually played for the club when I was little. My mum and dad were heavily involved in the club. They were on the management team. I worked on the burger bars from a young age till I was about 20, 21. I started off at Rushall for about 3-4 seasons. And then when Toothy came in, Chris Taylor, who I'd treated and looked after at Rushall, contacted me and asked if I wanted to get on board. And it was a big yes. It felt like I was coming home again because I grew up at the club, so it was nice to kind of come back in a way. And then 4 seasons later, I'm still here.
So Eve, what was your time like at Rushall?
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's kind of where I hit the ground running. I started in my last year of uni as part of work experience. I was doing the first team and the youth team as well. Yeah, it was a shock to the system. I was used to being around football and stuff, but kind of being on the inside of the changing rooms, the way the lads act, things like that, it was a shock. But it's kind of where you get your confidence, you get chucked in the deep end, you sink or swim. And I absolutely loved it. I loved working for Johnny Allen and Nick Allen, and it's just such a good family club. And even now, if Hednesford haven't got a game or it's cancelled for whatever reason and Rushall are playing, I'll still go down and watch even today.
So when you originally joined us was it 2017, Eve?
Yeah.
Was the plan that you were originally going to work with Gavin Blackwell if he stayed on?
Originally, yeah, that was the plan, that we was going to work together. But Gav wanted to move and have a bit of a change, so that's what happened. We kind of just swapped.
So what's your relationship like with the lads?
It's a funny one. Being a physio, you have to obviously you're looking after them, but from a female point of view, you're mothering them without them realizing that you're mothering them. You have to be quite strict and put them in the place a lot, which we have our own physio fines as well, don't we, Nat?
Yeah. It puts them in place a bit as well, doesn't it? So
yeah, because you can have a laugh and a joke with them, like you're their mate at the end of the day. We're like a big family, but you have to be strict with them as well. So we do have some fines. Being on your phone in the change, yes, being on the phone in the treatment room during treatment. If they're sassy, which Andy and Bales gets the most. Yeah. But the lads have turned it on us. They now fine us for sass. So I've got a few fines to pay.
Yeah, me.
So when you're treating the lads, do the lads ever complain about the gaffer to you about not picking them in the team?
Not really. They know that we are the management team, part of the management team. It's quite professional behind closed doors. If the lads have got a problem, they'll go and speak to the manager direct. There's not any kind of bitchiness or whinging. They're quite mature. If there's a problem, they'll go and speak to the gaffers in the office. Nothing really gets fed back to us. I think they know that it would get back to management. Yeah. Wouldn't you say the same, Nat?
Definitely. Like, they know just to go straight there, sort the problems out rather than stir the pot a bit. It's so much more professional as well if they go straight to management.
Makes our lives easier too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in all your time at Hednesford, who's been the biggest diva?
Oh, God. I've got two.
We've had a few though, haven't we?
Not just current squad, are we talking?
Throughout many different players you've treated.
I'd say Gloves is one.
100% on that one.
If a strapping ain't right, you know about it. You have to redo it, which was all the time. Andy is a diva.
Yes.
He turns up in fake tan. That's how much of a diva he is.
Yeah. And complains when it's like rubbed off.
Yeah, or turns green because of the massage oil. Bales, he got fined for sass earlier in the season because he dropped a "Do you not know who I am?" line on us.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been many.
No.
Ozzy a little bit. He was a bit of a diva at times.
He liked things to perfection though, didn't they, as well?
Yeah. A lot of them are like that. It's quite interesting. They have their own little rituals for the game.
You mentioned to me, Eve, Sam Odgie has been quite a big diva when he was at the club.
Yes, he was, wasn't he? He always had to have a massage, no matter what. If he felt fine, he had to have a massage because it was part of his routine. Yeah, even Bales does that as well.
It has to be like a certain therapist as well. So it's either like if you did in the week before, it had to be you. Until things went wrong, then it changed the therapist.
Yeah, so say if Nat massaged him on a Saturday and we won, the next Saturday or next Tuesday, he wanted Nat to massage him again.
Yeah.
So Nat, what's the best thing about working with Eve?
There's not many. Not to bait you out here, but no. I think it's just the fact that we bounce off each other so much. Like, we not only help each other within like football itself, we help each other on outside life. So she's kind of helped me with a lot through uni, like picking me back up when I've been knocked down and that. So we really do bounce off each other, help each other out. So I think every day is a bit of a highlight when we're together. Like, there's always good memories to come out of it. There's never really any bad memories at all to come out of it.
We never argue. No. We never argue or anything.
We know when someone's down, like, we just bring in treats to cheer them up, and we just like do the best to make each other smile at the end of the day.
So Eve, how much has Nat helped you at the club?
If Nat wasn't at the club, I'd be in a big puddle of tears. She keeps me so organised, from medical forms to notes to
physio keys.
Bringing physio keys, getting physio keys cut, reminding me to do orders. I'd be lost without her. Obviously,
organised,
yeah. Obviously, before the season got ended, I was off for about 2.5, 3 weeks with coronavirus. I was really sick and at home, and Nat just took the reins and was fabulous, to the point where I was so sick at home I didn't even have to worry about football. I didn't have to worry about the players. I knew that everyone would be in such good hands because she had it all under control. I mean, there was loads of FaceTimes because I missed her so much.
Yeah,
and I missed being at football. But yeah,
yeah,
I'd be lost without her.
Do you have a favourite?
Didn't we?
Yeah.
So do the two of you have a favourite moment so far at Hednesford?
Oh, I'm trying to think. There's been that many. So we've not done a team night out together yet.
No, because I've only just like really been the drinking age, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, only baby.
I love that when Nat started at the club, she never really drank, and now she drinks pints of lager with me.
It's got to be a pint after every game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got to say it's when we've done away games together and there's been a win, or I'd say Stafford away a few seasons ago when we first started. That win was brilliant because we were together. It's just more like, as much as I love Nat, it's a team thing, that when we do win, that we're all together, we're all involved, and it's nice because we're seen as part of the team and the management team.
We feel very involved this season, don't we, as well? So
yeah.
So what about the singing goal in the dressing room last season? That was one of my favourite moments.
It was funny until we lost, and then the other team was singing it to take the mick.
Just taking the mick, yeah.
And then it started to go on a little bit, and we'd always get covered in water because there'd be some idiot in the change room spraying water. So we'd be like trying to protect our hair.
Was that Wellesley by any chance?
Yeah, and as well,
more than likely,
in the winter you've got your studs on, and obviously it's hard flooring in the change room. You're so scared of slipping, so when there's water on there as well, it's scary.
So do you think it's good that we're seeing more female physios in the non-league game?
Nat, do you want to take this one?
I think it is, yeah, because it just shows that football isn't just for males, it is a female sport as well, and that no role can hold you back because of your gender. You can do anything that you want to do. Like, you don't feel like, oh, it's a sporting environment, females shouldn't be involved. Females can be involved, and it is one of the best things that you can be involved in, I think, personally.
Speaking from a female that's played football point of view, it's nice as well that you are welcomed into a football team, in a male football team, and you're treated exactly the same. You don't get, especially at the clubs that I've been at with Rushall and Hednesford, you don't get treated differently because you're a female. You get treated like one of the lads, and it's really nice. There's that inclusion there, and I've never come across any discrimination with players. It's brilliant. It's so good to see more and more in the game, and we get excited when we see an opposing physio that is a female.
So do you think we'll ever see a female manager in the men's game?
I'd love that. I'd love to see it.
Good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I keep joking with Jeremiah that I'm going to steal his job as a coach.
Yeah.
But I think only time will tell. I think female in the male game, the profile is rising, even if it is through the medical side of things at the moment, but never say never.
Because at Hednesford, we have a lot of ladies helping out behind the scenes that people don't get to see, do they?
No, there's a lot. There's a big female alliance, isn't there? And we do all stick together. We are trying to talk the chairmans into starting a female team as well in the next coming years, depending on when it can happen and coronavirus and everything. But that's something I'd like to start at the club as well.
So if that did happen, what role would you like to be involved with that?
Oh, a player, definitely. I wouldn't want to manage. I'd be itching to play. No. Nat can be the manager.
I'll give it my best shot, but see what happens.
So how much a battle do you have with the players when they quite clearly have a serious injury and they want to play on, but you will tell them you're coming off?
If it's bad, we will call it. If it's a head injury, we have the say. That's it. And the managers we've worked with are very understanding and they get it. I mean, we've put up a lot of, we've got a display like in the physio room about concussion, and it's not to educate just the lads, it's the management staff as well. And if any of the scholars are in there, it's to kind of raise the profile of it a little bit. With other niggly injuries, things like that, it's kind of assessing it, see if it's nothing serious. And then we just say, do you want to give it a go? See how it is. Give it 5 minutes. And sometimes that 5 minutes is enough to know that they're okay. Sometimes that 5 minutes is enough to say, no, actually, they'll put the hand up. But that 5 minutes also gives us time to get a sub ready as well. Or if we definitely know a player's down and coming off, I'll go on anyway, stall it a little bit, give subs some time. But me not have walkie-talkies to each other. So we've tried signalling in the past and it's just no good. Say if Nat's not there or I'm not there, the managers don't really look. So we have walkie-talkies now. So we can obviously get messages from the pitch to the bench. And it's a lot easier,
isn't it?
Yeah, especially when there's a crowd in as well and they're singing. It's hard to obviously shout across.
Now we're going to ask some of the questions from the fans. And the first one comes from someone you know, Eve, Wellesley. He asked, what's for tea?
He can cook tea because I always do the cooking. He did put a video up actually today of him cooking and the fire alarm was going off. So that says it all really, doesn't it?
Next question comes from Owen. He asks, what's your best song for Hednesford? And how well do you guys feel about when the season restarts?
Do you want to go first, Nat?
Oh, I don't know, on the song one. I think that kind of varies on the mood, doesn't it? Like the atmosphere that we've got. 'Cause every day is different, so the song can be different each time we're there, really.
Depends what players we've got in as well, to what songs.
Yeah. We've all got different vibes, haven't they?
I love the old school, we love you Hednesford, we do.
Yeah. But for the returning part, I think it's going to vary on obviously the current situation with the coronavirus. How long is that going to go on for until it gets better? But it's one of those we've got to take each day as it comes and just be as ready as we possibly can.
I can't wait for us to go back, but I want it to be the safest possible for everyone involved and to get some fans in for the club as well.
Yeah.
Because non-league's not going to survive with no fans, and that's what we need.
Next question comes from David. He asks, what's the funniest and what's the most embarrassing comments you've had when you're walking back to the dugout from treating the player?
Oh, I mean, there's some standard comments you can imagine we get, like we get the wolf whistles and stuff.
Guarantee that every game, aren't we?
Yeah, and that's funny. You just take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
I remember once I'd done a run on and I was walking back around the Heath Hayes end and there was a bloke stood with some of his friends. I think he was an away supporter. There was about 5 of them. And he waited for me to just get past him. And he went, oh, I've got an injury. And I turned around and I was feeling a bit sassy. And I turned around and was like, oh, it's not your groin, is it? Because obviously that's what we always get. And because I'd said it and I'd beat him to the joke, he didn't know what to say. And he was a bit like, and then all his friends started bantering him. So that was nice that you kind of one-upped him already. Yeah. Have you had any, Nat?
So yeah, standard ones like, oh, I've got a groin injury, fancy like massaging it for me.
Yeah.
Or it's the standard wolf whistles or just something like, oh, she's fit. Like it's the standard, just like sort of stuff you get in non-league anyway.
I remember one of the first big games I did was at Stafford away, like when I first joined in 2017. And my brother's friends were in the obviously Heath in the Hednesford end at Stafford, and there were some young fans singing "We Are Hednesford, our physio is fit," and my brother's friend recorded it and sent it to my brother. And obviously at the time it was that loud at the game, you concentrate in your work and I didn't even hear it until I got home and it got played.
Next question comes from Matt. He asks, who's the best manager, coaching staff you ever worked with?
I've got to say Keenan.
Current ones, isn't it?
Yeah, Kieran Dixon, Jeremiah, who we've got at the moment. It's just, when they got put in charge, it was like a different air around the place. Everything felt fresher, and that's nothing against any of our old managers. I just feel it was just a breath of fresh air, and it was just different from straight away. It was like, we're a team. This is how we're doing things. Loads of communication, and it was just little things that we got, like messages after a Saturday that were like, because pre-game mean that very, very busy, and we're running around like headless chickens, and it was just nice that, like, on a Saturday evening, we got a thank you, or like it was just that we were appreciated, and it's really, really nice. Would you say the same?
Yes, so the same. Like, there's been like a lot more involvement of us with obviously the current coaching staff, so it has felt generally like a nicer atmosphere as well, and that, so that they listen, they understand our opinions, our frustrations as well, and they try and solve it the best that they can as well to help us out.
Mm-hmm.
So who's the worst manager you work with? Do you want to say? Or give a clue?
It was a manager that went from assistant to manager. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll leave it there, then, shall we?
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble.
The next question comes from Shane. This is for you, Eve. What's been your best job at Hednesford? Working in the burger van or physiotherapist?
Well, in the burger bar, you get food. And I don't have to run on the pitch. No, I enjoy them both. Obviously, I worked for Johnny and Julie from, I think I was about 12 till I was 21, and they were like a second mum and dad to me, and they gave me work. They showed me what it was to work, and they gave me a chance at being a little 12-year-old, and I loved it. And I'd go back today. It's warm in there. It's not cold on the bench like it is on the bench. But also I love, obviously, what I do now. This is what I went to uni for to do, and it's nice to be involved in the team. So I'd say draw.
Next question comes from Brad, and he asks, what's the worst injury you've faced?
Oh, do you want to go first, Nat?
I
don't
really
think in time.
I don't know. I'll think in time.
Okay, the worst I had was when I was a student. I was shadowing, and it was a Saturday before Christmas, and our centre back had gone into a slide tackle, and the pitch was really hard, and he caught his heel in the floor as he went in for a slide tackle, and his knee was extended, so he dislocated his hip. And when he went down, he was screaming his ankle. So Paul, who was shadowing, ran on, and he said, "Your ankle's fine." He goes, "Oh, I've pulled my groin." So then at that point, I was on the pitch to assist, and I was trying to stabilise hips after we'd log rolled him onto his good hip. And as we cut up his sock, up his shorts, sorry if you're squeamish, we could feel the head of the femur underneath the skin where it obviously dislocated. Sorry, guys.
Say for me, probably the worst one that I've experienced is Wes's, the Achilles rupture. I think like, I've had the basic like head gashes and that, but I think the most severe will be the Achilles rupture of Wes.
Yeah.
So obviously he just went down like no tomorrow in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it was a hard one because there's no one around him, was there?
There's no one around him. There was no noise from it like there normally is. So it was one of those, right, let's just get on and deal with it and assess it now the best way that we can.
Mm-hmm.
So how is Wes? Have you heard from him recently, or?
Yeah, he popped in just before obviously the season got paused. He's been out his boot for a couple of months now. He's doing really well. And he's just going through his rehab. He's doing really, really well, a lot better than we expected. No operation. He's just powering through his rehab now. He's doing really well.
Next question comes from Sam. He asks, is it true that Andy Wycherley is a massive drama queen?
Nat, do you want to start this one?
Yes, definitely. He is the biggest drama queen that we could have in the changing rooms.
Yeah, he won't even have a massage off me because I'm too mean.
Yeah, anything to moan about, he will moan about it, trust
Yeah.
her.
And he always gets me for sass fines as well, because he's that dramatic about everything. I get sassy with him.
Next question is from James. He asks, is the magic sponge still a recognised treatment method?
No.
Wish it was.
Yeah, it'd be our jobs would be a lot easier if it was, if
Yeah.
it fixed everything. But unfortunately, no.
They're just too used to being pampered.
Have you ever actually had to use it in any game?
No, we've used, obviously we have the spray and things like that, but apart from that, no. I mean, I'd pay to see me on that run on with a big bucket and a sponge and try not to fall over or spill it.
Oh, be interesting.
Next question from Adam. He asks, who is your favourite footballer in the women's game?
Oh, I'm torn. Either Lucy Bronze or Kelly Smith. I'm going to go more Kelly Smith because I've read her autobiography, and from a female footballer point and from an injury point of view, she's overcome so much. She had 2 ACLs, a bad leg fracture, and she come back from all that, played in the World Cup and scored quite a few goals. So I'd say Kelly Smith for sure.
See, for me, I don't really follow female football. I've obviously got more of a rugby background, so I ain't got a clue on female footballers at the moment. Still trying to get into that one.
At training, being that I've been teaching Nat how to kick a ball and how to play football. She's getting good.
It was terrible to start with.
No, it's just a different shaped ball, that's all.
Yeah, I'm used to an egg shape, aren't I?
Yeah.
Last question comes from non-league volunteers on Twitter, and they ask, what's the best thing about working at Hednesford Town?
Do you want to go first? I think it's just the environment, isn't it? The atmosphere. It's so nice to be in. You've like made to feel so welcome. They accept you for who you are. Like, you don't need to change to fit in with everybody. It's just like an all round. It is a really good place to be.
I think even more now, so with the new owners, it's very much got the same feel as the way it did when I was a kid. It's very much a family club now. It's a lot more inclusive. It's just a great place to be. Like, you look at the ground, like, it takes me back every so often when I walk out on the pitch and I think, I represent this club, I work for this club, this is amazing. And from the coaching staff to the groundsmen, to the people that just look after the ground, to the stewards, everyone has got the same vision for the club, and it's brilliant. And it's very rare that you come across a club that has the same vision and the same where they want to be, where they want to go. And it's very much got that family feel back in it, and everyone is a big family in the club as well. So it's really nice. Everyone speaks to each other. From the bar staff to the kitchen staff, everyone talks. Like, from the players, they've got respect for everyone around the club. So it's really nice place to be.
Yeah, just a shame that in terms of the football, we haven't really hit the heights that this club should really hit.
No, and I think we were once obviously Keelan took over, and then we had a few games and get into the rhythm of it, of how he wanted the boys. I was going to say us, how he wanted the boys to play, things like that. And I think we started to get into the rhythm of it, and then obviously it got paused, and we'll be finding out soon if it carries on or is nil and void, but hopefully it'll carry on. I'm hoping so.
Yeah, the lads deserve a chance, don't they? They like the hard work that they've put in.
Definitely, and they're itching to be back in and amongst everyone as well, and just from a social point of view as well. It's just, you're a big family, you're with each other 3 times a week, and on a Saturday, on an away game, you could be with them all day and all night, and by the end of it, you're fed up of them, but that's what family is.
But we definitely need fans coming back in, don't we? More than 300.
Oh, 100%,
yeah,
especially with the size of our ground as well. Feel a bit cheated that we couldn't have any more, that we were kind of limited to 300, and like I said earlier, I don't know how they expect non-league to survive without the fans in, and the fans are what makes everything move, and we miss them singing and cheering and shouting and booing, but that's what we miss.
Yeah.
So thank you two for doing this.
No, thank you.
You managed to
Thank
sum
you.
up.
Yeah.
No too bad questions. I was expecting worse.